What's up, guys? So welcome back to the channel. I know this is like in the very beginning and stuff like that and the channel's development, but decided to see if I could do with this channel. So long story short, right now it is the middle of 2020, so it's around the virus of COVID-19. So my team and I on Budget Speeders can't really hang out with each other because we are currently on somewhat of a lockdown here in Tucson. So what better yet of trying to do something is start another YouTube channel. So I started this one just on myself. The other guys are just trying to survive and stuff like that. They got their jobs, and unfortunately for me, I lost my job. I am waiting for some unemployment and stuff, see if they can go through with that. But until then, I'm going to be working on a project, maybe a little fun for all of us. So let me show you the project I'm working on right now. Right, here she is. Here's a little project I've been working on. Decided to finally show it. This is a little Baja bike. One of my friends actually gave up on it because he could not get it running whatsoever. Because it used to have a Honda motor in here. And I don't know if you can tell, this is a Harbor Freight 212 Predator motor. And it's a Hemi. Because the Hemi right here actually has a square valve cover and stuff like that, instead of being a triangle shape. These are typically better, but I have yet to run with these. I always run with Briggs and Stratton. But yeah, this bike right here is actually pretty good. And as you can see, the carburetor is not stock. It is a Mikuni 22mm. Got that pretty cheap and everything. Surprisingly, it fits pretty good. Air filter was not included, so I had to buy that separately. I can link everything in the description if you want me to, so I can, show you what you can do. Another thing too is this is a little surprise to everyone. You cannot get these bars from anywhere except for a couple of places. Shouldn't really say you can never get these. These bars are actually from a Harley-Davidson Road King, and these are just factory 10-inch 1-inch bars. The risers came off of a Sportster, and this is my favorite part, the seat. The seat actually, I don't know what it fits off of, but and there you are. As you can tell, it's an actual Harley-Davidson seat. There's a part number right there if you guys want to look that up, but I'm not going to. So for this project, I named it Hardley-A-Davidson because most of the things I'm putting onto this bike, like bars, foot pegs, seat, other things like that, is from a Harley-Davidson, like something different, like a Sportster, Softail, touring model, stuff like that. So what better yet to name it? So today what I'm doing, I want to make sure the headlight works because I am going to be using this in the middle of the night, or when I take my race car to the track. After the race is over, I don't want to walk the whole entire pit's getting up there. I'm going to be getting this bike and riding it wherever I want, even here in the Arizona desert after the quarantine is over. Well, mid-quarantine. We're not really full lockdown yet. We're just only essentials can work. But as you can see right here, these are coil packs. And if you want to know what these exactly are for, on this bike before, I like what I said, I had a Honda motor on it. But the Honda motor was a clone of the Predator 212. And what I'm doing today is I took out the flywheel and I took out the coil packs. I'm going to be installing these directly into there, converting this into an electronic flywheel, don't really technical term for it, to run the headlight. Now this is not the same exact headlight I'm going to be running. I'm just running it for now. It's a halogen bulb, but I am going to be converting this into LED in the future. I'll show a future video in the later. But this bike is actually going to be a little nice because it's going to have headlight. Not only that too, I'm going to be installing tail lights. Let me grab that real quick. You'll like this. As you see right here, I got some pretty large foot pads for highway driving and stuff like that, and some tail lights. These tail lights actually came off of Sportster, like a 1200 or something like that. And these came off of Softail, I believe can't remember, a Deuce or if it's a Heritage. But again, so people don't think, oh, these are cheap eBay suckers. Well, you can't get that by itself. These are pretty pricey just to, get these. These came off because, the bike didn't work. Now, I know what you're saying. why am I putting Harley-Davidson parts onto a little, basically a pit bike or a Baja bike? Well, before I used to work at Harley-Davidson for the parts department, and when I was working there, my good friend over there, who was the service manager, said that they have a whole bunch of scrap in the back, from other bikes, dropped it or changing other things or some things, people don't want. I said, how much do you charge? He went, whatever you can find in those scrap bins, keep. That's why I have 3 sets of handlebars, a whole bunch of foot pads, a whole bunch of tail lights, and a whole bunch of other things to make this thing Hardley-A-Davidson. That's why I named it that. That's why I'm building it. Now, the best thing about it, I made a deal with him. If I can get this thing running anytime soon of this year, I will ride this bike into the Harley-Davidson dealership on a Sunday, because, I can't really show it during business hours because it would be kind of stupid. But I'm going to be riding it in and getting a little car wash from one of my buddies that works over there right now. So right now I am going to be just putting it together. So let me take off the flywheel and let me show you how to do it. There's these 8mm bolts. It's going to be a lot more easier to have this engine off of course the bike. But I was stupid enough to install the engine. I'm too lazy to do it. So there's like 1, 2, 3, and 4 bolts holding this flywheel on. Just keep in mind too, you do have the kill switch. I'm going to be getting rid of that and putting it somewhere else. So yeah, let's get to work. Okay, as you saw, cover's off. We can put that to the side. You can take that off. I'm going to. It's easy enough. It's a push button style, so you just push it in, pull it out. Here's the flywheel. So all I gotta do is take this nut off. I believe that's a 3/4 of an inch. Comes off. Everything will come off. And the flywheel will come off. Best thing about me, the reason why I say you should subscribe to me, just like you, I don't have a garage, I don't have anything fancy. You already see my Camaro, and now you see this, and that's not the only car I have left. That's a Geo Metro. That's what I should say. You should subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these fun little mishaps I'm having. And you're probably going to cringe at the next moment because again, I lost a lot of things over this year. But that doesn't stop me for what I love to do. Okay, we got it off. That's a good sign. We're going to have to remove the coil. And be careful with the magnet because that magnet is strong. So let's take the magnet off, but not the magnet, the coil. And take my advice. I am not a DIY or anything like that, but if it comes down to it, to me showing that, so be it. But yeah, so basically how you saw me, of course you smack a little bit to push this out with the thingamabobby, and this will come out. Ta-da! Now the difference between the Predator and the Honda. So let me get into the right orientation. There we go. So as you can see with the Predator, the reason why these coils won't work, in here it's supposed to be a magnet. As you can tell, it's not a magnet. The only part magnet is where the ignition coil goes. So how do we charge these? Well, the Honda clone is this right here. Anywho, you look for the Honda clone motor. These are the exact same size no matter what. And as you can tell, these magnets are glued in here. So, as you can see, magnets. So how this works is when the coil spins, just around tightly like that, these coils will get charged for the lights and electrical, and that would just charge the coil. So what we're going to do now is put this sucker on. So let's do that right now. Okay, so I forgot to mention too, you got to install these coils. So as you can see, these coils will go right here, and these bolts are already in. Not these, I should say. The screws, the screw holes. What I can't even talk today. I don't know why. Back here. That's already into the case. They're already threaded, they're already everything. I think these are M10 1.0s. So you screw these in. Now, I just try to do it 90 degree like that, but the old governor right here tried to, you know, be in the way, bitchy and everything. So don't try to put it like that, like these 90 degrees. Sorry with the camera angle. You want these up and down like this. Not only that too, you want this orientation of a wire to go up here, because that's going to go behind the heat shield over here, and that's going to connect to everything else. So easy enough, easy and said, because that goes right there. And again, bad for the camera angle. And boom, we got that somewhat. So let me just get this tightened up. I don't know why I'm talking. And this is why you don't rush things, because when I was putting this flywheel on, as you can see, that. Now, I got a blood blister, so I had to take a sewing needle and pop it, you know. Luckily, you know, disinfect and everything, blah, 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 we're good. So, on to continuing this. So, as you can see, I put the coil right there because I wanted to see if it was fine with the clearance and stuff, and it is. And it goes on, so just got to put the nut and everything back on, so yeah. Okay, so change of plan, because I found out something I did not see is the diameter right here. It's a little bit thicker here compared to this one, as you can clearly see. So we're not going to run a headlight for now. We're going to figure something else off of that. We might just add a battery with a solar panel and stuff like that. But I'm going to put everything back on and then relash my valves and see if this thing can spark. If it can spark, good. Then I just need to add fuel, and yeah, then we should be good. So let me continue on that. Okay, so here's a good trick for you guys, especially when you're doing your coil, the gap. As you can see, I put a feeler gauge right there. So when you do it, this is a 13 thousandths. It's supposed to run like, what was it, 12 thousandths to 18 thousandths, whatever, something like that. I can't remember the right math or the right gap, but I always go by the 13. It's always been good luck for me. And weird to say 13 is a lucky number, but anywho, put that, and then you grab your wrench or whatever. So you grab your wrench and you put it in your crankshaft. You just spin it a little bit, just enough for the feeler gauge to go wee. And you got it out. Put it to the side, take that out. Make sure it actually hits the coil. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so I got the valves lashed. So this one I put up to 5,000. This one to 7,000. This is the exhaust. This is the intake. So easy enough to remember. Something basic. If you're going to run performance and stuff like that, do your own spec. But I recommend after you warm these engines up, recheck it. You know, make sure it's you know, lashed properly. And yeah, so as you can see, it's almost done. Got this pull string on. I got all that. I got the coil on. Just gotta put some oil in it and see how it does. Alright guys, as you can see, engine's back on. Got the Mikuni carburetor on, the 22 millimeter. Thanks to my dad, he's holding the gas tank, because if not, this thing would fall over. And I'm running 91 pump octane fuel, so pump some gas and let's see if this thing fires up. I think, guys, it works. Alright guys, as you saw, I got the engine to run. So it's running a little dark, so I think I'll stop there for now. Tomorrow I'll definitely install the torque converter and stuff like that. But let me tell you what's going to happen right now, well, in the futures. Of course, we got the motor running. It's on the motorcycle now. What I still got to do is get some grips. I got the brakes to work, so they actually do stop. Still got to figure out how to wire in this, but I think I'm just going to get a battery and just hook it up and just use a solar panel to charge it. Easy enough. We live in Arizona, so it's a lot of sun. As for the exhaust, you can see right there, it is just a little tiny thing. What we're going to be doing, because of one little issue, as you can see with the seat, when we put it on, it hits, and it doesn't want to sit flush all the way down. So what we have to do, we have to cut the frame right here, just bring it in just slightly, and it will fit the seat perfectly. I can put my seat nut on the fender and it will stay on. And after that, we'd be good. Oh, and throttle. You know, vroom vroom. I gotta put that on. But another thing too, which I got, as you can see, it's missing the way to drive it. It's that torque converter. I need to put this torque converter on. Now this is just an eBay cheapie, $50. And this is the 420 chain, so it's a pretty hefty chain. And yeah, and it comes with the plastic housing, bolts included as well. I just put in this little Kakuni box. It comes with a belt, you know, everything. Here's the part number if you guys want to see it. Blah 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 blah. The case, you will have to cut it to fit your chain, but I'm going to wait for that. And then of course the clutch. So until later on, all right, I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.